boulders.
Really?
Mold.
You remember?
They have undermined the complete yard everywhere. Those little things that you see and you could walk on.
Perfect. Take 5 is on.
Yes.
That's good stuff. Thanks, Ed.
A little more.
That's fine. I'll get somebody else. Okay. All right. Well, I'm recording everything now, so we can.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's a beautiful morning.
So I think Conrad had asked me what the intention of this was, and I don't really know what it is about. I think I just thought it'd be a neat idea to document us sitting at a table at this time. And so I came up, sort of a snapshot. Came up with like a bunch of really generic questions. I thought hopefully generic enough where we don't have to think too much. That was the idea.
That's the last thing I want to do right
That
now.
was the idea. Also, hopefully it's good. Matt, feel free to join whenever you want. You sit right there also. So the first section was a general description of what architecture is, but I wanted to start with everybody's full name, age, and current academic or professional status. So,
You said we didn't have to think.
well, just where you are. I'm Stephen Corliss, 25, and I work at Ghaffari as a designer, drafter, I guess.
Abraham Mora,
First.
25, Southern Illinois University, a MARC candidate.
Oh, that's me. Dominic Pitternell. Mine is the same as Steve's. 25, Ghaffari Associates. And designer. Junior architect, maybe.
Sure.
No,
Candidate.
Candidate.
Is this Matt? Is Matt's turn?
Yeah, Matt.
What's up?
Conrad.
Remember, do your best Matt Owens impression.
I'll leave that to him.
So Matt's at school with Abe.
Matt Owens.
Matt Owens, 26.
Oh, is it?
26?
Old man.
That's right.
26.
He's got a year up on us.
Are you the old guy?
He's the old man.
When is your birthday?
September 25th. Him and my dad share a birthday.
So he already had his golden birthday.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
And who are you?
Conrad China, 25. At Mark at IIT.
All right.
What was Scarlet Hawks?
Hawks. Hawks.
All right. The first question was 5 years ago. Is this where you imagine yourself to be right now?
Sitting here.
At school
No, I
in
was
Southern Illinois? You didn't imagine that?
I didn't imagine this at all.
Yeah.
Where did you think you'd be?
I really didn't know.
Did you have an idea?
Uh,
Or were you going with the flow at that point?
it was of the moment more than anything. There was less planning. I think there's more planning now.
He's starting to plan out his life.
Is that something you find just inherent with age?
I think so.
The older you get, the more you start to plan?
Yeah.
It's inevitable. You have to become
I
more
don't like
responsible.
planning.
Did you think that we'd be working together at Ghaffari?
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
Now he's 20.
Like 5 years ago now.
No, no way.
No. I knew I figured I'd have a job, but
Where were we 5 years ago? What was 5 years ago?
we were
5 years ago was
Sophomores?
2007, 2006.
2006.
Sophomore.
So we were sophomores.
We were
Sophomores?
pointing up in 908. That's where they were. 6.
We were sophomores in undergrad.
Yeah.
Abe and I were living together
Mm-hmm.
in a cluster with Dom. And you
And
were
me
at
partying
908 with
Conrad
Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, Wills, and Jake.
That's kind of funny. Do you guys remember how you first became interested in architecture? Like before school? Was there something that, or why, what drew you to architecture, I guess?
Kept my attention. Felt that I was good at it.
Before school?
Before, like, was it in high school?
In high school?
It was something that, like, definitely
I don't think I knew what it was.
enjoyed it.
Architecture. Who
Yeah.
knows what it is? It's
I don't
just
think.
broad.
Yeah. I don't think I knew what it was.
Mine was like looking at house plans,
Yeah.
books from the library.
Of course, taking CAD courses.
Sure.
Like maybe playing with Legos or drawing when you were younger, even like
Oh.
Before
Wow.
that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Built houses with cards.
I think
Card
I have,
houses?
Yeah.
I have like a 3D sketch of like I was building something with those small cardboard cereal boxes.
Yeah.
They were units.
Oh, the little.
Yeah, the
Nice.
small. The
He's doing modular architecture.
So I was working with those, and I was using the structure of a small wooden table that we had, and starting to develop the space, the partitions
Yeah.
with the boxes.
Nice. Did you guys build anything like when you were younger before that?
Built a bike ramp that was like 1 foot tall.
Nice. So a ramp was the first thing you built too? For the most part?
I mean, like, my grandpa helped me with it, but
We
But like the first like wood.
But
Probably.
Dearborn
Yeah.
in 5th grade, like the entire out of popsicle sticks.
Okay, but I mean
So
like
excited
maybe
about
something bigger. Like was the first thing like
Oh,
you kind of
with-
built with hammer and nails or?
Shoot, I think a ramp too.
ramp too, but
Skateboarding
also
was big back then.
we developed a series, like a small like grind park. I don't want to call it a skate park, but like a,
Just with box ramps and stuff.
well, not even ramps. It
boxes.
was just rails. Like it was all more, more technical. So it was these series of PVC pipes nailed,
Real gully.
horrible. Yeah, yes, very bad. To
For those of you
2
who
by
don't know what
4s.
gully means,
So we were all like kind of played with Legos or card houses, and we're all like tinkering around with that.
units.
Maybe built something at some time.
I think I would, when I played with my G.I. Joes, I would love, like, building the little forts and stuff
Forts.
for them.
Mm.
That was the funnest part. I don't know, I think I built them out of constructs.
So
Little plastic pieces.
what skills do you think we had, or what skills do you think are necessary to become an architect? Like maybe what your parents saw in you that were like, oh, this would be a good career path to put him on, or like what skills or what talents do you think somebody needs to succeed in architecture school, or even past that?
You gotta have some drive. You gotta be able to stick with it. I think.
Are there maybe more like skills that are more catered towards architecture,
Sure.
particularly like creativity? I would say like
Yeah.
you might need going into school.
Spatially, savvy.
Yeah, I would say
TV.
exactly. It's about experience, right? So a sense for experiential,
Always ready.
experiential.
And being able to recognize
Right.
a good experience or something that
And I think
Worthwhile.
especially
Understanding
us,
spaces.
or I don't know. I would think, pull out some big words. Phenomenology.
Oh yeah, Stephen Holloway. That's my
Nice.
thing.
I
love that.
read his book.
Uh,
It was good.
I think it's huge, and I don't think you realize it when you consider it.
Yeah.
But once you find out what it is, you find out that you've been doing it
Yeah, it's pretty
all
crazy.
along.
So is that criticism, like to be a critic of a space and to analyze it and to understand it, maybe?
Graham Coolhouse says, "I am a criticism machine."
Like,
Criticizes everything.
like all architects need to be critics for sure, right?
Yes, I think so.
And that was a huge part of like our academic experience, is being sort of criticized for our work and making sure we defended it, and
yeah.
Being critical of space.
so what was your academic experience like going into it, knowing that you had the skill to be an architect? Like, was the school experience like you thought it would be?
No.
that first day when we all sat down and had to drive the bike, I was like,
I'm an
"Oh, bad
architecture
you
school.
are." This is gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, what was that first day like? I guess that's a good. I was
was
excited to
exciting.
sit down
Yeah,
and
it
be
was
like,
exciting.
oh sweet, like
Yeah.
let's try and draw this, like
It was fun looking at everybody else's work actually.
yeah, kind of placing yourself.
And how
like-
they actually drew it,
Yeah.
Like the different types of people would draw like a complete thing. Some would pick like a specific thing. They
Yeah.
didn't tell you like how to draw it. They just
Right.
said here.
That's what's most
is
interesting.
interesting
Is
how
the different
different
because you
perspectives.
think something is logical.
Yeah. Right.
You think your way is
the right,
Everyone
the
has
right
their
way,
approach.
yeah.
and then you find out that people feel really strongly about their own way.
Right.
I think that was the whole like idea of that project, like that drawing that is not to have the best drawings, how people viewed like what was in front of them and how they analyzed it.
Sure. I think you're right, and I think people thought it was about the drawing,
Yeah,
but it wasn't
like,
at all.
Oh, my drawing doesn't look good.
Well, that was a drawing course.
Right.
And it did
Yeah.
set
Analyzing
like a
it was
benchmark
objects.
for the first, and then we did it again the last day.
Right.
The small.
It was an interesting very first assignment to have though.
Yeah.
You know, as an architectural student as a freshman.
You see an upside down bike in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Draw this,
What?
and it's you know they put it upside down because it's a different way
Yeah.
to see the bike. You've never drawn a bike upside down before, so it's like.
It was just because it was lacking a kickstand.
It looks more elegant when it's upside down.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, through your academic experience, like, is there anything you would change for your undergrad? I guess let's keep it
Yeah, we should have built more stuff.
built more, hands-on.
Build more stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It would have been nice to have a more technical course, putting
Yeah.
something together. To the general public, what would you say an architect is in their eyes? Like, what does an architect do to Bob,
About the theorist.
Joe Schmo.
to Joe Schmo? What's an architect? Try and forget about like
Visual
everything
design
you've
spaces.
learned and
That's what I do.
they design space.
Analyze. and
I would say
design.
I think
I don't think they're perceived
Closed
as designers.
spaces.
I
no,
don't think
I think
architects.
I think
they're
they
perceived
draw
as builders.
documents.
Drawers.
Yeah.
Draftsman.
Draftsman.
They create construction documents for buildings. Like
I didn't even
think-
know.
Well, there's so many
It's,
different types.
it's really
of
impressive
Yeah.
because people don't know like the process really, you know. So they just see like a building and they say, "Wow, you know, you built that. How'd you do that?"
you think that's what makes the building more impressive? Is like
That's what makes the architectural profession seems more impressive. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
people are always impressed. You're like, "Oh, it's not all that like peaches and cream is."
well, when you were younger, before school, maybe is that what you thought an architect was just like a drawer that put together drawing sets?
No, I think he was. I always thought he was sort of an administrator.
Yeah, I thought it was the coach of the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he was the head, right? The leader that put things together.
Mhm.
And I just never knew how many people or different kinds of
Involved.
people were involved
Right.
in the process.
Process.
Yeah.
I was,
Even small
I was,
projects, there's a huge team. It's incredible.
yeah.
Like small remodels, you have so many sides.
It's actually a pretty cool thing that all these people can come together and, you know,
Yeah.
be on the same page more or less.
But even that opinion is biased. You know, I think
Sure.
you're right. I think it was more of a drafter. I mean, when I thought about architecture, it was based on a CAD course. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a section was.
Right.
I didn't, you know.
Well, I thought, like, I guess watching, like, the Brady Bunch, you know, I'd see this guy, like, sketching and then creating model, and I thought that's what architecture was. Like, you get to draw and, like, build a model of what it's going to look like,
Yeah.
and then, like, it kind of gets done. I mean, that was just my perception, and
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
I get lost just, like, drawing all the time, but...
I'll be honest, I never really watched the Brady Bunch.
Don't lie to us, Tom.
I've seen it. I saw it a few times.
That's what I thought.
But
I saw it a few times.
I
I
don't
just
think
never
I
knew he was an
architect.
architect.
Yeah.
So, did you guys have a favorite architect before college started? Like, if that's what you thought an architect was, or if you liked spaces and that's what you thought was
probably Frank Lloyd Wright, you know.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
I don't think I had any idea of a particular architect, really.
I think I knew Frank Lloyd Wright. He was pretty much like
Yeah.
I like Barragan.
Oregon.
Color.
before
simple.
you started school.
Yeah, well, like high school, I had courses, and I knew I wanted to be an architect for a while. But so Barragan and Hull are like my two favorite before even college and high school.
It's pretty impressive.
What about you, Matt? You had a father for an architect, so
Yeah, how did that influence me?
did you know like architecture before?
The only one I would have known was Wright.
Right?
Everyone knows Wright. Wright's right.
That's kind of crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. Everyone. Not even if you don't know anything about architecture, people know Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank
Yeah.
Lloyd Wright.
Oh, so you like
Well,
Frank Lloyd
we're
Wright?
it's something-
also from Illinois,
Yeah, that's
where a
true.
lot of his work
Right.
is. We've all probably seen something of his.
So this might be a deeper question that might entail some thought, and it's how has your perception of architecture changed over the past couple of years, whether it be your professional experience or going back to school after your professional experience.
You just understand it more of a business as a business. It just may be where I work right now, but I think that's kind of the next thing for me to tackle is understand how it operates as a business, and that
As a process too, maybe like you guys were saying before, like all the people that are actually involved in
Right. Understand
how
the
it makes it
process.
work. What about being at school after?
Well, of course, there was a change of thought once you went to once you were trained in design in undergrad. I think the the idea of what architecture was changed, and your role within it, or your desired role within it changed as well. The most interesting part about studying in a different place is the difference in school of thought, right? And to me, getting that experience between schools was you're right, learning about it as a business. But now being in a different school, it's about the perception of architecture, not only with the general public, but within the profession itself, and the different type of architects that you end up with, and how people's backgrounds really determine their own perception of architecture, and how that influences the public's perception of architecture. Because the role of an architect, or what he deems he's responsible for, is much different here than somewhere else. Or back in Chicago. Here they design rooms, I think, versus space.
It's probably because of the density difference. It starts to become more of an accommodation for more people, and so the whole what you're designing for is totally different.
What becomes more important in an urban setting is not the space itself, but the space between spaces. Because if you come from a rural setting, you have all the space you need in the world, and you don't have to respond as much to the influences of context. Whereas in an urban setting, you have to. So
You maybe become more outside of your discipline when you're in the urban setting, where you become a contextual designer, urban planning, and things start to blur outside of just a singular space that you're designing for a specific moment like this, but it has to latch on and connect with other spaces immediately. Like that's what you're saying. You're designing like sort of the transitional period between two design spaces also, how it relates or transitions between the spaces.
I think you always do, but the scale changes, right? I think the scale changes, and so
you're saying you have more space out here.
you have
There's
more
less
space.
restrictions, right?
There's less restrictions.
I'd say you have to design less outside of the space here.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that's right.
Okay, well that's section 1, and I was informed by the chief that we need to wrap things up. So there's
Fried chicken.
4 more
Fried chicken.
sections.
Yeah. Are we going to Little Grand Canyon at all? Okay.
Oh shit.
We started this.
Well,